Today I'm testing something I've never tried before, using polymer clay as an insert in the gypsunite. I'm making a marble tray and I'm adding a gold clay word dad right into the casting. But here's the big question, will it actually work? Because sometimes gypsunite bleeds underneath inserts, leaving rough edges, or the insert might even pop out after it's cured. And I want to see if the polymer clay can really hold in place and create a nice, clean, strong design, or if this experiment is going to be a total fail. So I hope you enjoy watching. So I'm testing out whether this polymer clay will work with gypsunite and if it will stay inside the gypsunite without popping out. So I'm using my Clayology clay, which I normally do. It's local and it's so easy to use. Then what I did was I printed out the word dad on my 3D printer. But obviously I couldn't use the normal way that you use it. So when you push it down, you can see the actual word. I had to reverse it because the back sticks really nicely to glass and to the silicone. So I'm going to be using the back of the actual word, not the top rounded layer, because the rounded layer will probably either lift or it won't stick as nicely to the silicone as the back of it, which is baked on the glass. So it's really, really smooth. So here I am just working the clay. I have mentioned before that this clay is really, really lovely to work with. It doesn't take a lot of working. 9 times out of 10 don't have to use a pasta machine. I don't think I've used a pasta machine in years, probably. Even though it's spring, so it was cold when I actually made this. So it did take a little bit longer. Obviously, when it's winter, it's harder to work. When it's summer, it's easier to work. And here I have my spaces on my roller and just rolling it out on the glass. I have mentioned before, probably if you've watched any of my other videos, certain things I roll out directly on the glass, and some things I roll out on my countertop, and then I use my blade to lift it, smooth off the edges, and then put it onto the glass. But this word, because it's got 3 letters on it and it's basically quite flimsy, if you can call it that, I thought I would just do it directly onto the glass so that I didn't have to lift it and then make it go out of shape. I have got a piece of silicone matting underneath the glass so that the glass doesn't slide around on the countertop. And here obviously I'm just getting it nice and smooth so that I can cut out my word. So there you can see the word is reversed because I want the piece that's sitting on the glass to sit on the actual silicone mold. So like I said, that will be nice and flat and smooth from the glass. So it might look a bit weird now, but you will see just now when I have taken it out the oven and I flip it over, you will see that it's nice and smooth underneath. There I was just showing the edges. The edges with my cutters is really, really sharp. I have done a video, if you'd like to go and have a look at that. It's how I get my blades on my cutters really nice and sharp when I'm cutting them or printing them, should I say, on my bamboo A1. So here you can see it's out the oven. The edges are still reasonably smooth. They don't have a lot of clay that's left behind. But when you take it off the actual glass, there is a little bit of a little, I don't know what you call it, a little bit of, I don't know, bits that are left on the edges. I think it's inevitable that you will get, if it's directly on there, you will always get a little amount. There you can see now, that is the side that I'll be using, the side that's nice and smooth. So here I am just going to show you that if you put it the face down, how it doesn't slide around. It's actually, I thought it would be better. I haven't done one with the rounded edge, if you want to call it, from the top of the cutter. I haven't tried it with that because I think, and I'm probably right, that because it's got a slightly rounded edge, the actual gypsumite is going to seep under and it's not going to give you a nice clean edge. So here I am just giving it a little bit of a clean up with a emery board. That's all it needs because it's such a small amount that it's like a little bit of a film that just gets caught on the outside of the actual item, and it just needs to be taken off a little bit. So there we go. So now then just testing to see whether it actually does come off the mold or not, and you'll see it actually sticks there. You actually battle to move it because it sticks so nicely with its edge, flat, shiny side, and giving a little push down just to make sure, and see when you flip it over it actually doesn't move at all. And I explain that again when I'm making it in the next part of the video. My little dad word out of the polymer clay is on the base. You can see it sticks really well, and that is why I did it in the reverse, so that the bottom of it sticks really nicely to the silicone mold. And I'm hoping that that is going to stop the actual gypsunite from going underneath the polymer clay wording. So again, I've measured out according to my calculator, which I love. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it in blue and yellow marbling, and then I'm going to put a little bit of my metallic gold. I love this metallic gold. And just so that we get maybe a little few spickles of the gold in the actual tray. As I said, this is just a test. I don't know if this is going to work. I haven't tried polymer clay with gypsunite, so this is a hit and miss. I'm not sure whether it's going to work or not, but that is what we do. We test things out and see which of them come out beautifully and which of them don't. I do have a few things that I've done that haven't worked, but that's the joy of crafting. You try things out and hope for the best, and if they work out, that's good. If they don't, well, we'll just try something else then, hey? Right, let's give this a good stir. Right, it looks like all the lumps are out. I have mentioned before, you might get a little lump or two, but if you're pouring trays or candle holders or trinket boxes that have quite wide
sides or bases, you don't really notice if you have a little lump or two. It's not a train smash. Right, I think we're done. Right, so I'm going to add the yellow and the blue. This one I haven't opened yet because I was using the other blue. So this is a nice blue. I'm putting quite a lot in because I want it to marble quite nicely. Those colors together look really good. Okay, and then I just want to add a couple of dollops of my gold. So I'm going to use the back of this. Come on, Mr. Gold. Right, that's it. Never mind, I got it on my finger, but that's fine. Right, so I'm going to pour it gently around I'm going to just give it a tap as usual. So those colors are beautiful. Now I'm hoping I don't get any air bubbles inside the cutout. Of the actual word. I'll use my scoop to make a little bit of a pattern at the back here, but I don't want to interfere with the word underneath. That looks good. Right, there we go. We'll leave that to dry and unmold it just now, and hopefully the polymer clay shows through nicely and it hasn't lifted. So he has cooled down, and if I turn him over, I can see that the gypsunite has bled slightly under the polymer clay, but I don't know if that is because I wiggled and jiggled it too much. So that might have been the case, but look at those colors. Those colors are beautiful, but literally I can just wipe it off the polymer clay and it comes off perfectly. So what I'll do now is let it sit for half a day or so, and then I will see how well the clay has actually stuck to the gypsunite. But I'm really happy with that. That looks really good. I'm not going to wipe it off yet with a damp cloth because I don't want to mess up the actual gypsunite itself, because it's got to cure for that little bit longer. But to be quite honest, I think that has come out really well. And it's smooth. It's not like it's raised or it hasn't lifted or anything like that. It's actually perfect. So I will wipe the polymer clay off a bit later so that we can see what it looks like. But it's actually really come out nicely. I love the colors. The colors are gorgeous. The colors are really nice. And it's smooth, even though I have the gold in, but the gold is even shimmering where I just little bits of it, but the actual whole tray has a slight shimmer to it. So I'm really happy with that. I'm hoping that this will dry nicely and the polymer clay will be stuck in there for good. Look at those colors, they are beautiful. Right, so there we go. I will let that sit for a while and give that a wipe off, and then let's see how we're going to seal it.
So I decided I was just going to use my wax that I have made up. Again, I have done a video of that. If anyone wants to make their own wax seal, it's homemade and it's probably stuff that you have in your pantry. What I did was, before I actually sealed this, I cleaned off the polymer clay nicely, just with a damp cloth, and I went around the edges to make sure that it was nice and smooth. And I have to say, that edge between the polymer clay and the gypsunite is so smooth, you can feel the difference between the gypsunite and the polymer clay, but there's no actual ridge. It didn't sink in. It actually came out really nicely. So if there is anybody that was wanting to try putting your polymer clay into gypsunite, this does show that you can do it really easily. Like I said in the beginning, I haven't tried it with the top edge of the polymer clay. Maybe I will try one out on a coaster, because I don't really want to ruin anything, but maybe I'll try one out on a coaster and see if it works. But I am doubting that it will work, because the edge isn't flat and it's not smooth like the back of it that comes off the glass. So I would suggest, if you are going to use it, you're going to have to use a reversed cutter, or if you're cutting it out yourself, make sure that you use the reversed image, not your image that you would normally use if you are using a cutter. So here, like I said, I'm just sealing it off. It brought out the colors so nicely. I did put quite a thick layer on, and then gave it a good wiping over. The colors definitely came out so beautifully. The green and, the green. Well, it did make a green because I put in the yellow and the blue. So we did have bits of green, and the gold metallic that I put in just made the whole thing nice and sparkly. And we even got a bit of gold sections here and there. So giving it a good buff with my microfiber cloth, and I was really happy with how it turned out. So guys, thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Also, if you would please like it, it would help a lot. And if you would like to comment if you have made any items with your Gypsunite or Gypsunite or any other medium that you use, and you've added polymer clay to it, Let me know if you had any success or if yours was a failure. I would really like to hear from you. I was happy with how this turned out. It was for somebody special that isn't with us anymore, and it's just a little memory gift that I'm sure he would have really enjoyed. So guys, again, until next time, have a great one.